and I want to start with Zion. Zion was asked a question after the game.
Okay.
And I love his answer, and it poses a bigger question. So, Lorena, if you have the Zion clip.
What's your favorite dish? What you looking forward to eating the most?
He trying to set me up. And no matter what answer I give, social media gonna clown me. So no comment.
Zion will not answer what foods he's into, knowing that whatever I answer, if I say pizza,
his answer was all of them.
everything. If Zion said pizza,
whatever's in front of me,
there'd be Zion pizza memes. If Zion said tacos, there'd be images of Photoshops of Zion at a taco bar. If Zion said cake, there'd be pictures everywhere of Zion holding pies
I
and
like
cakes.
the manner in which he answered, though. He did it in fun. He sounded happy. While it didn't sound like he was bitter about the questioning, and he laughed it off. I appreciate that. And I want the world, Fox Sports Radio Nation, to also know when we joke, it's because Rich and I and Spot, we are gavones, as they call it. We eat until we can't move anymore sometimes. That's part of our I don't know, just the way we were brought up. We were brought up in a culture and in an age where our grandparents said, if you don't finish what's on your plate, you can't go out and play. Hey, you want hair on your chest? And I was really thinking no, but people were like, you got to finish your food. So
True.
We just eat until we can't. That's just sort of how we are.
Yeah.
Gavones.
And you're lucky you're not a big dude. Genetically, you're still a thin guy.
Yeah, but like Lorena said, I'm getting old and fat. I think that's what she said.
I think that's it.
So I need to stretch and stop eating so much.
You look like, for people that don't see us on the clips, COVINO it's as if Mario Lopez didn't do anything for 6 months.
There you go.
That's what COVINO looks like.
6 years, maybe.
So, I gave you
in
a 9,
between. Yeah, that's okay.
But Zion brings up a good question. I feel like I'm a pretty open book. I'm not a shy guy. I'll tell you personal stories. I'm okay embarrassing myself. Listen, we do like our uncensored.
You're a good sport. You're a better sport than most people.
But what I'm saying, listen, I joke with the haters on social media. I tell embarrassing stories, even if the punchline's me doing something stupid. I'm a good sport about it.
You really are.
I always have been.
No, you are. But that's why the show works.
But I got to ask, are there questions that you would say, I'm not answering that?
All the time.
And I got to ask, what are those questions?
It's anytime you feel the way Zion felt in that moment. This is a setup. Or, what are you doing? Trying to feel me out? You're trying to gauge me? You're trying to figure out where you need to put me mentally? Like, what's going on? What's your premise here? What's the basis of your question?
Okay, I'm going to ask.
Anytime I feel that, I immediately back out of that conversation. I'm like, I'm not answering
I'm going to ask a few questions.
Well, I have examples.
I don't want you guys to answer because some of them are personal. But I want to know if you agree they're sort of like, no, I don't know if I'm going to answer that. Danny. I'm putting Danny on the spot right away. What's up, Danny G? Super producing.
Oh, no, I'm a little nervous now.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, I'm on the hot seat.
Danny, if your wifey came up to you and out of nowhere is like, Danny, I want you to tell me the best 3 sexual experiences you've ever had. Not with me.
Never.
Are you answering that
Well,
question?
that happened on just one night.
Are you answering any from the past question?
No,
Lorena,
hell no.
Lorena, if
No,
some
no.
guy was like, Lorena, tell me about you'd say, nope.
Mayday, jump ship. No, but in reality, even if you try to talk about on a regular basis, oh yeah, me and my ex, people get salty from the moment you bring up anyone who's not them.
Yeah.
So if they're prying to find out more stuff, it's because they want to get irritated. That is a trap. Do not fall for it.
Trap.
Okay, what about this one? What about this? If someone were to ask you, how much money you make? I had a guy at my softball game say, hey, how much does Fox Radio pay you? I'm like, do you think I'm going to tell you?
Yeah,
No, I'm not telling you. That's none of your business.
Beeswax.
Dude, some guy came to my home to put some furniture together. He asked me what I paid for my place. Even that was offensive to me.
Look it up on Zillow.
But still, I'm like, get out of here, man. It's like a personal question. That's not how I roll. No way. How much money you make? I wasn't raised to reveal that information at all.
However, the younger generation, if you've noticed on social media,
because they all make nothing.
There's a lot of transparency. For some reason, the younger generation's like, we'd love to share our salaries. That way no one's done wrong. It's a very
yeah, well, I don't
thing.
play that game.
All right, so no money. You're past in the bedroom.
Nope.
Anything else?
Has your wife, really quick, Rich, has your wife ever asked you about your past?
Oh, yeah. I tell a lot of dumb stories, and it's almost like the thing. She had to accept the fact that I have terrible stories.
So she
knows. Like
she gives you a pass on that
She
one.
knows every dirty.
Yeah.
I would say my wife knows 99% of my dirty, smutty. I was in my 20s stories. But
one thing I really liked about my girl from the start, she didn't ask questions about before. So that was nice because I have dated girls where they're like, tell me this, tell me that, and it's like they're doing a background.
Of course,
check on
and
you.
it comes back. That's ammunition for later on, and there's no benefit in you sharing that, and that's where the expression "less history, more mystery" comes into place because that history stuff doesn't need to be brought up in your new relationship. I got one right now.
I remember one time I was on a very Russ and Rachel like in the 2000s. My ex and I were on like a break. We went our own ways for a few months and then ended up getting back together. And she's like, "Did you hook up with anyone during our break?" And I remember probably my buddies were like, "Don't say a thing. Don't be dumb." And I'm like, "She seems cool. She doesn't care.
I promise I won't get mad."
And I was like, "All right, well, there was this one girl, Jessica. For the rest of the time I dated her, it was like, well, why didn't you ask Jessica?" And I'm like,
Big
why
mistake.
the hell did I say
I told
anything?
you, it's a trap.
Yeah, so
I don't blame Zion for not answering that question.
yeah, if you don't know where this derived from, Zion was asked his favorite food, and Lorraine, if you could play the clip one more time, Zion, he said, not answering that.
What's your favorite dish? What you looking forward to eating the most?
He trying to set me up. And no matter what answer I give, social media gonna clown me. So no comment.
What was his answer, though? What do you think?
Probably like ribs. I don't know. What's his favorite food?
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, right? Here's a question that is a total setup for failure. Don't ever answer this question. You know, we established a few. Someone asking what you make, how much you even paid for something. None of your business what I paid for that. Beat it. But my girlfriend once asked me, like, is there a girl you dated even before me? Like, the setup was so, like, innocent. Even before me, it doesn't matter. Like, that you felt like, oh, she was the one that got away. I'm like, yeah, okay. Picture that. I'm going to share that answer. Yeah, you're right. So you can do some, like, background research on this name now. So Zion's right, because if you feel that way, the way he felt in that moment, I'm not giving you that ammunition. You're crazy. No way, no how. Best sex, best sexual experience, even like best
Money.
vacation. What would you say? Like even before me, like was there a best vacation? Because again,
all you
up.
have to say is like, well, I did go with my ex to Aruba. Oh, so so Aruba. Sorry, I can't be Jessica in Aruba.
Yeah, exactly. None of those things will ever benefit you, and you want to be honest. You want to be honest, and we see that on Love is Blind, right, Danny? Like, I just want to be honest. Like, these are the girls that I dated, and it never works out being honest in that way. So there's no point in that.
Yeah, either date someone that doesn't care, and listen, you might say, well, Rich, that's a bit of a stretch from the Zion clip, but it did get me thinking that there are times, professionally, personally, socially, you are asked questions, and your best answer is, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. Like I said, it could be money related, bedroom related. It could be, listen, if Zion, great example, he's being criticized heavily for his eating and being out of shape and showing up not in the shape they want him to. So why is this guy going to answer a question about what snacks he likes?
Yeah, no way. No way would that work to his advantage. Like you said, it would be photoshopped. It'd be all over social media. It'd be pictures of him eating that. You know, it would not benefit him in any way at all. And those are some other examples of things you don't need to answer. Here's one that I don't have to worry about, and that's the truth, but I imagine other people feel like, well, that's none of your business. Like, hey, man, you ever get hair plugs? Hey, have you ever had any work done? Hey, like, I'm sure women deal with that a lot, and women are probably like, some people, like Rich was saying before, nowadays they own it. It's almost a bragging right, like their designer bag. I got my boobs done with Dr. So-and-so.
Well, I think a lot of times they own it because by owning it, they get money off.
Yeah,
like,
but
I get my Botox at so-and-so, I get my this at that, but
it's still sort of like personal case by case. No, it's like, I don't know, why are you asking?
I have another one for you, especially coming up. Who you voted for?
Oh,
I'm not talking to you about that,
dude. Really,
I've had
good
people
one.
here at the network during the last election ask me, and I was like,
you know why, though,
no
Danny
comment.
G?
It's none of your business.
Because it's like, why are you trying to make this assessment about me? Right?
That is a great one. My answer is always, Clay Aiken. then I brush it off because the truth is, if I say Trump or if I say Biden, the immediate judgment happens. And I'm like, you know what? Not answering.
Yeah. A lot of us, when we were kids, politics weren't allowed to be discussed at the dinner table.
wasn't discussed really ever, right? Like Rich and I,
we were kids. If your parents if you voted for someone, your other friends didn't hate you for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you just
that's a
disagreed
really
on
good
that.
one.
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
a really. Oh, I didn't want to answer the old vaccine question at one point too. People would like, assume or say things. I would just keep my mouth shut for a long time because again, it comes from a place of they're gonna judge you one way or the other.
Yeah.
And if I feel that way,
What about when jobs were requiring it?
yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I mean,
Got a fake vaccine card there?
I'm like, what? I can't hear you. What? What? But I'm a little more personal and private than a guy like Rich, so I'm an exception. If I'm wearing a pair of sneakers or a shirt and someone comes out, yo, where'd you get that? I don't even want to tell them because I'm like, why? So you can go and cop that and try to bite my style? No
you know
way.
what he's done?
I'll be like, I forgot. Sorry.
This is unbelievable. COVINO is so private and selfish in certain ways. There was a time, I think he's grown a bit,
I've grown a little bit,
but there was a time where
it's case by case.
he would say, with your ex-wife, he'd be like, oh, we went to this great Italian restaurant. I'll be like, oh, where was it? He goes, I don't want to tell you.
Well, you want to know
And I'll
why?
be like, what do you mean you don't want to tell me? He goes, that's our spot. I go, I'm not going to go with you.
There's two
What?
solid reasons as to why I won't do that. Because here's what happens, right? Let's say there was a place special to me. Now is my spot. And then I share it with you. Now there's a good chance I might see you there one day, and I don't want that, right? Because it could take me out of my zone that night. But here's what happened after experience. You recommend that place to somebody, and then they point out something they didn't like about it, and it tarnishes the image you had of that place that made it special. So if I now recommend that place to you, and you went there, and you come back, you're like, the lasagna's not that good, then he sort of ruined it for me.
Okay,
You know
that's
what
fair.
I mean? So
That's fair.
I'm extra private
But-
when it comes to that stuff. So I understood completely where Zion was coming from in that moment.
It makes sense. Zion, I love the answer, and I love his playful answer.
Yeah, it was
like, no, I'm not answering you because they're going to clown me on social media.
And the fact that he could still be light-spirited in something that's probably really sensitive based on the storylines that are going on now, it shows a lot about his character, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think that's it's a good look for him.
I think it made him likable in that
Yeah,
moment. So,
for sure.
Lorena, let me ask you from a female perspective what COVINO said. If you have friends or family members that have gotten any type of work done, is that something, has that changed over the years? Because back in the day when we were younger, it's like women hid that
it was
stuff.
a stigma,
And he's
right?
right. It's now like a social media, like, here's where I get my skincare done. Here's where I get this done. Here's where I got that done.
Yeah, it's funny because it used to have that discreet, like, no, you want it to look as natural as possible. Now women are showing when they got the tubes still coming out of them.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, come feel this. Come touch, see how natural it is. We're just showing it and shoving it in everyone's faces nowadays.
Yeah, it's
only
more of a
changed.
bragging
It's a big
right.
change. Honestly, if you were a kid like I was, I grew up in the 80s.
Not that
and-
anyone should have been ashamed, but it just was personal.
No, but
that's all.
if you were a kid in the 80s or 90s, if a woman got her boobs done, the whole, like, she would deny it. Like, it's obvious. But it was like no, they're mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was a turning point. And I think the turning point was social media allowed hot girls that were popular to get work done for free if they promoted their doctor. And then I think it became like, no, that's where I got my butt done.
Yeah, and it's the exaggeration and the size of these pieces, too, that are going on to females. Like I said, it used to be more natural. We were looking for natural curves to come to our bodies. Now it's like, oh, my goodness, I know those aren't real. Where'd you get those done?
Now women want people to almost acknowledge that they paid for
100%.
them and maybe they paid good money for those. It's like a status thing. So they're not even trying to hide that they're not real.
Like getting new rims on your cars, fellas. What are you going to do? You're going to hide them? Put them underneath a towel? No.
How about this? Let's say you spent a lot of money on something and your family asks you how much you spent on it. You telling them? Even if it's vacation, like Spot, you went to Bora Bora. Your brother comes and he wants to, hey, man, how much you spend on that vacation?
I mean, that was your 10-year anniversary.
It was a
and-
big
and you
one.
did say you spent a lot of money.
I spent a lot
Yeah,
of
but
money.
what are you going to give them the answer for? So they could judge you?
But I also, yeah.
I'd be like, don't worry about it.
Because
Mind
then
your
they're going to
business.
think I have more money than I actually do.
Exactly.
I spent it all.
They're sizing up like, how much is this guy blowing on vacation? Look at him, Daddy Stacks. Who does he think he is? He's a big shot now?
Hey, I think you are.
What do you think? You're a big
Thinking
shot?
better than me?
So if
Hanging in Bora Bora, where are you hanging?
If my brother asked me that, I'd be like, mind your business, dude. Beat it.
Mind your
Simple.
business, dude.
Playful and simple, though.
Beat it. All right. Well, hey, just a fun story we saw about Zion. And, I got his back. You're right, COVINO. He came across as likable and playful. Zion, what food do you like? I'm not telling you.
He probably thought of 10 different things, but then
he had food. I picture like a
visions of sugar plums.
like a cartoon, like a bubble popped over his head. He was like, there was pizza and sausage.
he was smiling, looking up the sky, thinking of which one should he pick, and then he was like, you know what? Nah.
One last time, Lorena, we'll move on. Zion.
What's your favorite dish? What you looking forward to eating the most?
He trying to set me up. And no matter what answer I give, social media gonna clown me. So no comment.
I love it. Thank you, Zion, for the fun moment.
Yeah, great thinking, man. He did the right thing.